Listen to Jeb Bush talking to the union leader in New Hampshire about what he would do about the undocumented, 11 million or so here in the United States.
What do we do with the 11 million people here? I think the answer is earned legal status. That deal is, I think, the right balance to deal with this. People came here illegally, there should be a consequence.
People came here illegally, there should be a consequence. That's this past week. This is 3 years ago.
You have to deal with this issue. You can't ignore it. And so either a path to citizenship, which I would support, and that does put me probably out of the mainstream of most conservatives, or a path to legalization.
Is it a coincidence? Does Donald Trump have anything to do with the fact that Jeb Bush now stops at legal status when 3 years ago he said, I'm fine with citizenship?
He's made it very clear that his position has shifted because he understands that the politics have shifted. Now, look, he's for legal status, but he has said in the past that, you know, if the moon was in the 7th house and Jupiter and Mars aligned and somehow a bipartisan deal put together a system that included rigorous border, security, plus a pathway to citizenship, he'd be okay signing that. That's not going to happen. So he's back to legal status. And, you know, I think the very simple law and order argument is one that Republicans can now understand. But he's got a 300-page book that lays it out in great detail, and it's very hard for him to back away from that. It is, at this point, legal status, and it was citizenship. And he admits the politics shifted.
The politics shifted. And his language is tougher here, though. He stops, boom, there should be a consequence. His language, even on status, is tougher here. Let's continue the conversation with Jeb Bush, because Donald Trump singles him out all the time. He says he's terrible. You know, how could he negotiate? He says, I can't believe I'm second place to this guy. One thing we did see as the immigration debate played out this week is the money figures started to come out. And a lot of the candidates put up some impressive figures, but nobody had anything like Jeb Bush, who shattered the records. $114 million total. $11.5 million for his launch day for his campaign. $103 million. This is what he was doing all spring in the early months, raising for his super PAC. There is no front runner in this race because you have 16 or 17 candidates. No one's got a big break in the polls. But you would have to say those numbers make him the most formidable.
No doubt about it. I mean, there might not be a front runner, but he's running in front. If you put all the metrics together, history, money, organization.
All this money tells you the establishment wants him, right? I mean, not that they rule out a couple of the others, Governor Walker, Governor Kasich, and the like, or Governor Christie maybe if he can have a comeback, but the establishment is very comfortable with him. And this is one area we talk about the Bush name being a liability a lot on some issues. Clearly the Bush name is an asset when it comes to money.
But it's not deterring anyone from jumping in, and that's also very interesting. We've got two major candidates that are still out there and that are coming in the next couple weeks. So they're looking at their money and they're saying, okay, that's fine. And they're still pushing forward. So while the establishment backs him, it doesn't seem like it's had any kind of a chilling effect in the massive Republican field.
And it also gives some of these candidates a chance to say, yeah, he's got all the money. He's the establishment favorite, but I've got the grassroots. I've got the sort of heart of the Republican Party. I'm putting together these small dollar donors, and I've got sort of the energy and the passion, even though he's got this kind of Lamborghini of a campaign.
I'll tell you, though, sitting there on the Outlook overlooking Walker's Point Thursday night. This is the postcard shot that everyone's familiar with, the Bush home. He brought 300 people onto the front lawn of his parents' house. They took this huge group photo. I mean, it was the ultimate Republican shit that you can give to your backers. He took full advantage of it. He trotted out his mother and his father. We could see it from a distance, and there are now photos of it. But it just shows you, like, politically, he wants to be Jeb. Financially, he has no problem being a Bush, at least early on, because it helped him.